Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I was just telling Chris that
Looks
last
like
month
we're going
I
to be
was
on the air in a sec.
public during the meeting. Time of the meeting.
We had this issue last time. Last time they wait.
Plug in as well?
Steve. Good?
Well, camera guy? Did the camera guy tell you?
No. But did...
Oh, yes.
So we'll let them go first so they can present and...
Okay. Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Well, can't take credit.
So much easier for me.
All right, we are on the air. I call to order this Borough of Oradell Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting, June 16th, 2025. Notice of this meeting was published in the official newspaper, prominently posted in Borough Hall, and filed with the clerk's office in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must always be maintained. Any questions and comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Chairman,
All right.
want to do roll call?
Yeah, let's do roll call. It'll be easy tonight.
Want me to do it?
Sure.
Gee, thanks. Mr. Bartlett?
Here.
Ms. Odinsky?
Here.
Mr. Devine?
Here.
Mr. Santaniello?
Here. Everyone else is absent. Okay. Before we go any further, something overdue that we have to handle, the appointment of our board attorney. Danielle has been graciously working with us for a couple of weeks while the town and CSG Law has worked out their terms. I have here the resolution appointing CSG Law, Mark Liebman, as the zoning board attorney. Does anyone have any thoughts or comments on this, or do we want to? Are we okay with a motion to accept this?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Congratulations.
Very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all you have done for us so far. Let me sign this. Okay. And why are there two of this? Oh, okay. I get it. And then that's for you. There you go. Okay. Approval of zoning board minutes, May 19th. Everyone received an email copy of the zoning board minutes. If we don't have any corrections or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the meeting of May 19th.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. Thank you. Okay, correspondence. All correspondence is on file and available for review in the construction official's office. Zoning board procedures. I'm going to try and do this from memory, so bear with me. The zoning board here is a place where you can come with if you need a variance to the local zoning ordinances. If you're proposing something that for your property that the construction office cannot legally approve right off the bat, you're able to come here to request relief. The way we conduct this meeting is governed by the New Jersey municipal land use law. So what can be said and when it can be said is handled by those terms. Sorry. thank you for your cooperation in advance on that. All right. Swearing in of borough professionals. I think 3 of our cases are already underway, but we do have one new one. So if you would be so kind. Oh, we're missing Caroline.
She just went to use the bathroom.
Okay.
I could just swear her when she.
Yeah, let's start.
If you could raise your right hand, and do you swear from that any testimony you're about to give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We're going to switch the order really quickly now, just because, as you can see, we're a small crowd, and Mr. Devine is going to recuse himself for calendar 88125, which is 505 Kinderkamak. So I believe the 505 Kinderkamak applicant is going to, yes, come on up.
Microphone?
Yeah, or that
This
rectangle, that works. Yep, that'll pick you up.
Thank you, Chair. Thomas Garlick from Murphy, Schiller & Wilkes on behalf of the applicant for 505 Kinderkamak. Seeing the size of the board and a recusal, we're here for an amendment to a condition to a prior application that involved the D variance. My understanding in a brief communication with the board attorney is that that would be treated as a new D variance, so we'd be looking for at least a vote of 5, with less than 5 members to start and 1 recusing. We'd ask to be carried to the next meeting without any further notice if the board would be inclined to do so.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yep.
We appreciate you hearing the other applicants, hearing us before the other applicants.
Yeah, and thank you for your patience with us. We'll try and increase our numbers for next
Oh,
time.
no problem. We're going into the summer, so I get it.
Okay.
So, but no further notice, correct?
Correct.
Great. Thank you very much.
Did we I apologize. Did we put the date of the hearing on the?
The date of the hearing is, does anyone know?
Yeah, give me a second. July 21st,
21st.
Monday, July 21st.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you. All right. Let's move on to calendar 889-25, Vigna, 256 Beechwood.
This is residential.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Allison Cassetta from Harwood Lloyd, appearing on behalf of the applicants. This is a continued hearing, so I just wanted to confirm that any board members here tonight who were not here for the first hearing have listened to the recording and are eligible to vote tonight.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the same crowd, too.
Okay,
Yep.
great, thank you. So we did submit a set of revised plans in response to the feedback that we received from the board at the last hearing. I'll let our architect get into more detail, but what we did essentially is detach the proposed garage. So now it's an accessory structure. The setback requirement is lesser for an accessory structure. We also did increase the setback, so we're more than compliant on that now. We eliminated the variance that we originally requested for building coverage as well. What detaching the structure did, though, was create a couple of new, I'll call them technical variances, because there are separate requirements for accessory structures. So again, I'll let Mr. Sarah speak to that in more detail, but hopefully the board is more receptive to this design, because I know there were a lot of concerns with the setback.
Okay.
Is Mr. Sarah still under oath from last time, or should he be sworn again?
I think,
He's still.
yeah, if you were sworn in last time,
Your
you're good to go.
license is still current?
Still current.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Like the attorney stated, we took the concerns of the board and talked to the applicant. We detached the garage from the main house, so there's no breezeway that connects it. In doing that, we reduced the building coverage under the requirement for a variance, so it's less than what is the maximum. We also reduced the garage in size. We went from 24 feet to 22 feet and from 23 feet deep to 22 feet. So we reduced it in size and in square footage. In doing that, we were able to pull the garage off of the property line another 2 feet. So instead of the previous application, we were 6.08 feet off the side yard, now we are at 8.04 feet off the property line. In doing so, like, we ended up with some technical variances as far as the detached garage, in that it will be in the side yard, and a detached garage is required by zoning to be in the rear yard. The reason we are not putting in the rear yard is it would add another 800 plus square feet of impervious coverage that I know the board was concerned about last month. The garage right now only overhangs a grassy area by 260 square feet. And that was the same as it was last application. So the other half of it is on the existing driveway. So the impervious, we are under, no variances. The height actually came down a little bit to 13 feet 4.5. It was 13 9.5. The other ones are, the second accessory structure, which is an existing shed on the property, the zoning requirement is 125 square feet. We're at 134 square feet. It's existing as it is now. And the other is that the total for accessory structures is 600 square feet, and we're at 618. But the overall look and design is stayed the same, but we just reduced the footprint.
Okay.
That's pretty much all we have to present, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
We just wanted to walk you through
Yeah.
the changes, and we hope that you like this design better. We think it alleviates some of the concerns that the board had raised last time.
Yeah, appreciate that. Our professionals, Caroline, any questions?
No comments, Mr. Chairman, but thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
I have no comments.
Okay. Danielle?
Could I just get the dimensions again?
Yes, it's,
My notes.
the new dimension is 22 feet by 22 feet.
And the prior one?
Was 24 feet by 23 feet.
Okay, thank you.
Did you need the height reduction again as well?
I had 13.4 and to
Yeah.
13.9.5, right?
It was 13 9.5, now it's 13 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 13.
Steve?
No comments, Chairman.
All right. Anyone on the board? Thoughts? Questions?
Could I just ask one question of, I guess, the engineering, is that the variance between, one of the variants necessary is a 5-foot, or the distance between the two segregated structures on the property. Is that part of, when that code is put in place, does that have to do with the fire code and ability for people to get behind the building in an emergency situation?
It's a municipal code, but it was in place for that reason, for ingress, egress of emergency personnel, things of that nature.
And this, I can't see it. It's 5 on the dot, right?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
5, yes, it's
But it requires it to be a minimum of
10.
10. So it's 5 feet closer, and that is the purpose of this, still needed for variance.
Yes. We kept it at 5 feet. It was 5 feet prior application, but the concern from the board was the side yard setback to the neighbor. So we reduced the garage and gave the extra 2 feet to the side yard to increase that distance from 6 feet to 8 feet.
You're still going to fire rate the wall, like garage wall?
If the board requires it, we will, yes.
Makes sense.
And just one other question, if we were to move forward, does a fire official have to have a review of that?
No.
Any other board questions?
Could I just add one other question? In terms of the original seepage area, the additional water drainage is still now in place, even though the buildings are segregated?
Yes, yes.
Because the roof
The roof is smaller, but yes, there's 2 minimum, there's two 500-gallon seepage tanks on the property, and they're remaining.
Yeah.
Mr. Devine, if I could offer a suggestion, if the board is concerned about the separation between the house and the garage, we are now 3 feet over the requirement for the setback. So if it would make the board more comfortable, we could slide it back another foot or so toward the property line to provide 6 feet in between, or even 7 feet if that made more sense, because we have a lesser requirement now on the setback. And
You have a
we're-
lesser requirement
We're 3
because-
feet over that, so.
But it's also, that requirement is based on the garage being behind the structure, not next to the structure.
Correct.
So, okay.
I almost think you're better off with the
And-
8 feet, with having 8 feet on one side as opposed to 6 and 7, or,
I just wanted to offer it.
yeah, that makes sense. Any other?
No comments.
My only question, would you be agreeable to, as a condition of approval, agreeing that the garage cannot be used for inhabitable space?
I think that came up last time.
Did it come out? Okay,
Yeah.
we have to ask that.
Yeah, I think we discussed that last time.
Okay,
That's fine.
all right.
Yeah,
Just making sure.
Yeah, one story, there was no plan of.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay. With nothing else from the board, we can open to the public questions for this witness only on these few topics he covered. All right, no takers. We'll close it to the public. Anything else?
Just to sum up, thank you for your time, thank you for your feedback. We think, like I said, that this design addresses the concerns that were raised last time. There is a good reason not to place this garage in the rear yard as required by the ordinance, so we think that the variances related to the accessory structure are justified. We think this is a better planning alternative because the increase in impervious area could have detrimental impacts, whereas as Mr. Sarah testified, we're keeping it mainly on the driveway and staying below the limits for both building and impervious coverage. The neighbor closest to this garage, I think we advised last time, has expressed no objection, has not appeared to object. So we don't believe that there will be any detrimental impact or impairment to the zoning ordinance.
Okay. Help me with procedure. Public comment? Is that what we would do now?
Yeah, after questions, yeah, public comment.
Okay. Do we have any public comment for this? All right, again, no takers. We'll close it for public comment. Now we talk. Okay. Want to get us started? Opinions?
I mean, the testimony was thorough. I appreciate you taking in the comments from the board and making those necessary adjustments. We understand the importance of a garage. I'd say, again, the importance of fire rating the wall and making sure that those are taken care of within the garage is important. Outside of that, I'll leave it to the rest of my colleagues for their thoughts, but I think it was a good presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, likewise, I mean, I think they're reasonable revisions, given what you're working with. I do have level of concern with the space between that, and I'm not sure which is the right one, having more space between the property line and/or creating an easier egress to the back of the building for emergency services. So, it's when you have a large garage on a property because of the already width of the house and the points you brought up on the impervious coverage, which we're trying to work with. It's kind of in between, which is the right way to go. So.
Okay.
I agree with my colleagues on the board have said so far. Made some good improvements on the design, took into account our concerns, so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, same here. I appreciate the revisions. I think it's I think it's probably the best scenario that you could come up with, given the conditions and what you're trying to accomplish. I can understand the concern about the space between versus the space on the side. I think if given a choice, like I said before, I think you're better off having more space in one of those two locations. And since the feedback you got last time was about being too close to the property line, I think the additional space between the garage and the property line is preferable, even if that means that you have that 5-foot gap between the two. Just because, again, that gives you more space. Worst case scenario, if you needed to get something back there. That sums up the board. Would you like us to vote?
We would appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anyone have a motion in favor or against this application?
I'll make a motion that with the changes proposed here, that we would accept the changes and vote in favor of the variance, as long as the conditions being, as we said, there's no inhabitants to it, and that all of the structure would meet the same fire code as if it was a attached structure. That would require, whether or not that would require wiring for fire or whatever else is needed, had it been in a attached structure. A little long-winded. I'm new.
No, that's fair.
We understand.
We're all new.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Oh, who got it? I think you had. I think you had her by a second. Okay,
Who has it?
The coin.
Kevin.
Nice job.
All right. All right. Let's vote. Mr. Bartlett,
Yes.
Ms. Odinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Devine,
Yes.
and me, yes.
Thank you very
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The obligatory warning, there is a 45-day grace period after the resolution is passed in which somebody can raise a complaint. So if you start before that, it's at your own risk. But
Understood. Thank you.
thank you for coming back. Thank you for the revisions.
Thank you very much.
All right. As we transition over to calendar 888-25, I'm just going to make a note that I forgot to mention before. Calendar 890-25, it has been carried to July without need for further notice. That is 668 Martin. That means we can move on to 888-25, Mr. Traphagen.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing, we don't have 5 members, and it's a D variance.
Correct. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're allowed to hear the testimony, but we can't vote. Tell me if that's,
Yeah,
I'm happy to be wrong, but
Let me check something.
and if we do hear the testimony, that would mean that anyone who is going to vote the next time around would have to catch up on the recordings, which we've done before, but I wonder. I think we've heard a D variance case with 4 members before, knowing we couldn't vote.
I'm trying to remember what happened with the Bergen County United Way case, because we did have a night where we didn't have 5 then.
Dropped to 3.
Because of the,
We were
there was,
out,
there was
yeah.
conflicted.
We got to 3, which then we didn't have a quorum.
I thought that it was also, we didn't have 5 to start with, but I could be incorrect.
Yeah, no, we dropped down to 3, which was not a quorum, so we called it a night.
I thought that,
I know that a quorum is 4, but I know you need 5 people to vote, so I'm asking Mark. I have in my, that's what I have in my, I have like a note sheet for a quorum, but
Okay.
let me just ask him.
Will he get back? Should we take
Maybe a 5 minute.
should we take 5?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
5
call
minutes,
someone else,
real
too.
quick, just while we
Don't wanna
make sure
give you
that
the
we're
wrong-
allowed to listen to the case. We don't want to waste your time. We'll be back at, we'll call it 8 o'clock. Again, thank you for your flexibility. So if I understand correctly, you're going to address some of the questions that came up from last meeting,
Correct.
and then any questions that result from what's discussed today we'll handle next time around when we have more people here.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. It's all yours.
okay. So since this is a continuance of last meeting, there were certain questions that were raised, and Bill Page, our engineer, will address those questions and hopefully satisfy whatever they are. And if you have any other questions, of course, we're here along with our architect, Brian Callahan.
Okay.
Same reason.
And Mr. Page, your license is still current,
Yes, it is.
and you're still being sworn tonight, so.
So, Bill?
Start.
Yep,
If you want to grab the handheld. Yeah.
looks like it's on.
Do you have this drawing, Steve?
Just want to mention that the affidavit that they were needed, that it was presented.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to mark this as an exhibit.
Okay. Yeah, just while Steve is pulling that up, we did receive the affidavit of all of the owners of the business, jointly affirming that they are indeed in agreement on this application. So thank you. Okay.
Okay? Yeah, this drawing here is the consolidation plan. Again, the drawing on the left is the existing conditions for the two lots.
Bill, the revision date is June 6th.
Yes, I believe so. And then the drawing on the right is the consolidation plan. There's a few comments that I know the borough engineer had, and I presented those to PAC survey.
Excuse me again, is this an exhibit? This wasn't
Yeah,
presented?
this is all an exhibit.
Okay.
I believe it's A3.
A3?
Yeah. And is there a title on the bottom of the plan?
It says lot line consolidation plan, and it's prepared by William Manning,
Thank you.
licensed land surveyor. So one of the comments, if I'm right, that was requested was deeds of the main lot, you know, the consolidation of lots 1 and 2, and the 10-foot wide utility parking easement on the upper side. So I just gave those to Mr. Atkinson. But again, what I'll do is I'll resubmit everything so that everything is officially submitted 10 days before that hearing in July. So on the prior plan, the 10-foot easement wasn't shown, and then the deeds were not presented, but all that is done now. On the drawings themselves, there were some comments that were brought up at the last hearing, so what we tried to do is address those comments. One I remember. And one of the comments was that initially, that the county wanted the entrance to be off Kindercamack Road, with the exit being on Brookside. So what we did is initially, we had a little curvature in the road, the entrance coming in, and now what we did is we made it straight. And I believe the borough engineer recommended that, so that's what we did. The other thing we've done, and I'll show
Excuse me,
the next-
Bill, is this a separate plan?
Yeah, I didn't get this. Did you submit this?
No, this is all part of the exhibit.
This would be an exhibit. They sent it late.
Yeah, like
Friday
either the
night.
9th or the, I
So,
mean, that's
The
Thursday,
revisions
Friday.
to the original plan set.
Can you give the title of that too and mark it as A4 and just,
Sure. The title is the site plan, drawing 3 of 9, and the revision date that I have on here is 6/8/2025.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, these were submitted to the town because I have your lot consolidation plan, but I don't feel like I have this one. Maybe I'm wrong.
So the lot consolidation plan, that's a new plan that was submitted not within the 10-day window.
Right.
So we're having it as an exhibit. So there's really been no review, at least by our office, and I don't think you've gotten it either, so.
I just didn't, I knew we had.
And then there was revisions to the plans to address the Neglia comments, I believe in the county comments, and I would assume T&M comments as well.
Right, that's what, I didn't have the plan, I have the revised consolidation plan, I just don't have this, I think. But it doesn't, it sounds like we're gonna be back again another month, so you're gonna make a formal submission with
Right.
all these in a timely manner.
And you'll be bringing your professionals back. We'll get this more than 10 days in advance and be able to properly comment and review it by our professionals.
That's the idea.
Okay, thanks. So this is really just an
Question
intro.
is, the board still wants us to proceed? Okay. It's complicated. We try to make it complicated.
Keep us on our feet.
Right. So the other thing we did is another comment was the handicap ramp. So what we've done is we made a entranceway between where the parking space was so that we would comply with the ADA regulations. And then the ramp is like about a 6% slope up to the entrance on the, I guess this would be the north side of the property. The parking area in the front of the building, which is going to be a variance, and there is parking now in the front of the building, so it's a, can't say it's pre-existing, but we still have a variance under existing conditions, and we're just exacerbating that a little bit. So what we've done is this whole front parking area is porous brick pavers. So the intent there is the water would filtrate into the ground and not create some more impervious coverage. We've added a seepage pit, and the seepage pit is going to collect the rainfall on the new addition, half the new addition, and a portion of the existing building. There is an existing seepage pit, the same size, which is 6-foot diameter, that collected all the rain from the existing building. So in that sense, some of the rain that was going to the existing seepage pit would be going to our proposed seepage pit. The parking lot on the east side is going to be like granite blocks. There are the cobblestones or granite blocks partially in this eastern parking lot, and there is also cobblestones and partially in the front lot. So the intent is to take the cobblestones from the front, put them in the back so that we have cobblestone driveway. And then if we don't have enough, then we can either get additional cobblestones or use porous brick pavers. One of the other variances was going to be the one-way circulation has to be 16 feet. Even though I show 15 on here, I can make that 16 feet, so that would be eliminated. So we do keep the same number of parking spaces. 21 is what we show as being proposed, and 34 is being what's required. But a comment was we didn't show a EV charging station on the initial plans, and we do propose a EV parking station next to the ADA block. So in theory, we need 33 parking spaces. Still a variance, but it's one less space. And my understanding is that one of the employees that work here has an electric car, so that will be installed to operate. Okay, the next drawing, which is drawing 4 of 9, again, the revision date is for 6/8/2025. The contouring that we proposed on the initial plan is still going to be the same contouring that we propose here.
And this will be Exhibit A5?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the title on it again?
The grading plan.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. One of the other things I want to mention, the concern of the garbage container in the front of the building. What we're going to do is eliminate that and move it to the east side of the building. Again, it's not going to be a compactor, it's going to be garbage cans. And what my understanding is that the contractor that does the garbage pickup will either pull in, back out, I guess it's around 5 o'clock in the morning, so it won't really disturb hopefully too many people. Or what they'll do is the cans will be carried out to the garbage truck. So it's not going to be a garbage truck coming in, making a right, or stopping on Kinderkamack Road as they do now to pick up the waste. Again, this is no restaurant or anything like that, so most of the waste is cardboard, paper, and you may have some food product from the people eating at their stations, with lunch, and that'd be about it. The next plan entitled the parking plan, same revision date. This would be what, A7?
A6.
A6. And one of the comments here was an employee parking sign. We added an employee parking sign for this east parking lot. This will only be for employees. So one of the comments was we need to sign that as employee parking only. And that's what we did. We have a sign located just at the entrance going into the site. The county had a few comments, and we've addressed pretty much as we could on that. They want do not enter signs off Brookside so that they know this is one way. We also added do not enter signs here at the entrance coming in for anybody that's in the site. But one thing the county also wanted was they wanted one-way signs inside on their right-of-way. Just says one way, and that's that, one on each side. The other thing they wanted is monuments. They want concrete monuments, 2 at least, minimum. They want Kinderkamack Road, and what I've shown with a dark line, or box, there's one monument on the north property corner and another monument on the south property corner. The other thing the county wanted us to do is the easement, it's a 20-foot radius. They wanted us to highlight that and write that on the site plan, the deed book and the page number that's on, and that we've done also. The other thing is they wanted the handicaps, detectable pads removed, from the entrance, because they wanted the sidewalk or the driveway to be at grade, so you don't have to warn them that there's a ramp. There's also a walkway sign, a crossing sign. They want us to put a note on the plan that if that has to be relocated, we would relocate it. So that's another item. And then in reference to a comment that was brought up at the last meeting is there's a light pole on the right-of-way, where our driveway is. And we'll have a sign, or we'll swear that if that sign or that light pole needs to be removed, we'll remove it. That's not an issue. So any signage or anything along Kinderkamack Road or light poles or whatever that are within this construction would be addressed. The next is the landscaping plan. And another comment that was brought up is we were a little sparse with the arborvitaes along the east property line. So what we've done is we've doubled that. So I believe we had like maybe 8 before. Now we're up to about 14, 15 arborvitaes. We just have a double row. The other thing that we've done is in this area, which is the end of the east parking lot, we thought we'd put in Riverstone as the surface cover with the tall grasses. And that would be easy to maintain, but also would be somewhat decorative. We do have Riverstone and tall grasses on the north side next to that apartment building. So this would be consistent with those 2 items. Speaking with Mr. Traphagen also, coming in on the east side parking lot, there's right now is like a gravel area where you come in and it's kind of an embankment and there's like a little stone retaining wall. We thought what we would do is landscape this, put in some grasses, put in some plants, and then we'd put in a tree as well. Kind of decorate that to add a little more to the landscaping.
Before you flip that, that's also the 6/8/2025?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to mark that as A7.
And that's the landscaping plan.
And this will be A8.
This is the lighting plan, 7 of 9. We didn't make any changes to this plan. I believe the last hearing, the one comment that we got is that all these lights will be shielded, and they will be shielded. And then the other item that we will say we will do, that the borough may have a 6-month look to see if there's any spillage onto the adjacent properties, then that would be addressed as well.
I'm sorry, were these, so these weren't changed at all?
This one wasn't. No.
Okay, I'm not gonna mark that as A8 then. So it was already submitted.
Okay. This is drawing 8 of 9. It's the soil erosion plan, and the really only change on this one would be is the entrance. Instead of, again, having the prior entrance with a little curve coming into the site, it's a straight run into the property. The soil erosion plan was approved by Bergen County Soil Conservation, so I guess the thing we would do is either resubmit, or since their only real change is this entrance, I can ask them if they want to see it, or just have a record of it, stamp it, or whatever.
And what, the revision date on this one?
This one would be the same.
6/8/2025. Okay, that's gonna be A8 then. And what was the title again?
Soil erosion plan.
Okay, thank you.
Then the last drawing is the detail sheet. Again, it's just construction details. We did change this one. We added the monument that the county requires, those 2 corners that we talked about before. And we have a detail of the seepage pit that's being proposed, and the seepage pit is 6 feet wide and 6 feet deep. We do have calculations, again, based on the increase in stormwater runoff that's going to go into this, and what we have is adequate for that. And one thing that I would recommend is that, say the board looks upon this favorably, the seepage pit that's on the east side, we would probably have to take a look at that to see if there's any sediment in it and if it's capable of handling any increase in stormwater, if there is any increase.
And that's also the 6/8?
Yeah. Then the only other item, I don't know if this was on the last set or not, is that there was quite a few notes that were asked, by the borough engineer. And what we did is we added all those notes onto the plan. Again, should this be approved, and that has a signature block, that here we're guaranteeing that we'll address all those comments. And the other comment was which is on the other plan that was submitted, is we wanted to see the breakdown of Lot 1, all the bulk requirements, and Lot 2, where before we just had Lot 1 or Lot 2, and then we had the combination of them all, but now we have all the 2 and 1, and the variances.
Okay.
So that's that.
That's everything? All right. So, Danielle, how did we agree? What should we ask more questions now, or are we going to handle all that at the next?
If you have questions, I'd certainly ask questions
Okay.
now, but just so you know, that your testimony is still going to be open, and board members that come back and certify that they've heard it are still going to be able to ask you questions, so if you could come back at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
That
And I would
being-
also open it to the public as well.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Let's start with our professionals then. Caroline, you want to kick us off?
I don't have any comments,
Oh,
Mr. Chairman.
good.
Thank you.
Okay. Dave?
Only a couple minor, just from the testimony given. We haven't had a chance, obviously, to
Fair enough.
review the revised plans. I think a lot of the revisions were to address comments that we did have within our review letter, so thank you for the initiative on that. Just, again, wish we had them sooner, but.
No, I understand.
With respect to the trash enclosure, so I think in your testimony, I think you talked about a couple different things, whether the garbage truck would come up, the garbage truck would not come up. I guess just, and you don't have to answer it now. If you want to come back at the next meeting, get that to us. I guess if you are going to have the garbage truck enter in there, I would like to see an exhibit just to show that the truck can make it up into that location. That driveway area is pretty tight through there, so if the truck is gonna get up there, I'd like to see something demonstrating that it has access to get in and out.
Yeah, I assume that the garbage pails will be brought down to the garbage truck. That's really the way they do it now.
Okay.
Since it's out front, they have to open the gate and then wheel them out. It's a little further, but not that much further, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. So if that's your answer, then so be it. If it changes between now and July,
We'll let you know.
just make sure, again, if there's any trucks that are gonna be entering in that area, I would like to make sure there's adequate maneuverability for them to get in and out.
Sure.
And I guess stormwater, I think there's been revisions during your testimony. You mentioned you're gonna go with the pervious pavement. I guess there'll be calculations and stuff demonstrating that there'll be sufficient storage for that. And then there's the
Yes, and I
revised
think
details.
one of the comments you had too was you want a mounding analysis now that we are having some of the rainwater going into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have someone that'll do that for us.
Okay, fair enough. Really, those were the main things. I guess just take a look at your details too. If you've modified stuff, it looked like you eliminated the trench drains and a couple things. So if they're not needed, let's remove those from the plans as well. Anyway, those are the main questions I had at the moment, just based on the testimony from tonight.
Sure. And then we can always regroup next week, next week.
Are we coming back next week?
Not that I've been told yet, but you never know. Danielle, anything?
No.
Okay. Steve?
No comments, Chairman.
All right. Board members, any questions on the answers to the questions from last week?
Nothing at this time, Chairman.
Nothing new at this good? All right. Same here. That was very clear. Thank you for addressing all those. Questions from the public? Okay.
Well, it's on this 50 Beverly Road. I know that you said you put the arborvitaes in the front. Is that because you removed some trees from the back before from the original site?
No. There's
there
a
were-
row of arborvitaes all along the east back parking lot on the east side. So we're not touching those. The ones that we're proposing is on the back side of lot 2.
Oh, well, because you said that at the entrance from Kinderkamak Road, you said you were going to put arborvitaes there.
No, I meant here. If I said the entrance, I was surprised, but no. We are having plantings at the entrance, but they're either boxwoods and smaller plants for site visibility.
Okay, so that, are you telling me that nothing has been moved from the site if there were trees there before?
All the trees along between lot 1 and lot 2 have been removed.
They have been removed.
Yes.
And how many trees were removed?
About what, 10? 8? Yeah, I'm
Uh,
involved with that.
So you're planting how many trees now? Boxwoods?
We have 15 green giant arborvitaes. We have 11 American boxwoods. We have 14 dense yew, 3 Burberry hollies, 12 junipers, and 5.
So those are trees that you're talking
red
about?
maples. Red maple, 5 red maples and 15 giant.
5 red maple trees?
Yes,
Very good. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions from the public? All right. We'll close it to the public. Okay. That's all the questions for now. Like we said, any board members that get caught up may need to ask questions. Dave, when he gets to review the material a little bit more deeply. What makes sense to cover next? Is that all we were going to try to accomplish tonight? I forget where we left off.
Yeah, the only thing would be left would be planning, but do you want me to do that at the next hearing after Caroline has a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I would hold off on the planning personally because
Yeah.
the professionals haven't had a chance to review.
Right, we
Okay.
haven't seen the
Yeah,
plan,
that's
so it
it,
doesn't
yeah.
make sense. I
That's
don't
fair.
think.
And they
Okay,
have to come back anyway, so.
all right.
Okay, Brian.
Please use.
Does anybody have any questions for the architect? I think he made his presentation last week.
Revisions to the plan as from any, no revisions?
No revisions, no.
And I don't, there's no revisions from the last meeting?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we finished that part of the
Yeah.
testimony, so I think we're covered. Yeah, I think our best move at this point is to, I'm getting, please use microphone. Who do you not hear? Sorry. Is the box working, or should they use the handheld?
It's okay.
It's okay? All right. All right, that being said, I guess our best course is to pick it up next month.
Okay.
All right.
I'll just ask, will we be advised whether,
We will try to do a better job
Yeah.
of confirming adequate attendance for next time around, especially with it being the middle of July. That's, ripe for vacations. So we're really going to do our best not to waste anyone's time.
Well, let me just state that we have been trying to confirm.
Yes,
On
that's fair.
numerous times.
I know.
Trying to get the board members to let us know whether they're going to be here or not. Gabby made an effort today, again, to call, text, send emails to the borough email and their personal email. And finally, we got some confirmation on that, but
Yeah.
it needs to be corrected.
Yeah, and by that I mean, by no fault of Steve's office, Steve and his entire crew there has really gone to great lengths to try and round us up. I'm going to personally reach out just to see if I can get a hold of people and stress the importance of us getting through these cases. So, thank you.
well, thank you, I appreciate that. And hopefully, next month we'll meet again.
Yeah. Okay.
That July 21st?
That is July 21st, if I remember correctly. Yes?
correct.
Okay.
So just
All
for
right.
the record, there's going to be no further notice or publication. The notice is going to be carried to July 21st.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just running through the agenda. Okay. 881-25 was carried. Old business. On the agenda, the only item we have is financial disclosure statements. Are we still missing any?
I'm not sure. I'll check with Gabby. I think we left it on there because there were one that I can think of, maybe two. But I'm going to take it off.
Okay.
They've been noticed long enough.
Fair enough.
It's on them.
Okay. Any other old business?
No.
I think we're pretty good on the cyber now, right? Everyone's caught up?
I believe so.
Okay. Cybersecurity. All right, how about new business? Any new business? Just like the old business. Okay. Public comment? We are open to the public. All right.
What's known as 50 Beverly Road. My comment is about something that may come up or may arise. We have some sites in town that were contaminated. All right, they're going through remediations.
Zoning board at this time.
Yeah, if it's about a potential future application, we
Yeah.
probably shouldn't hear about it.
I don't think it's about any application.
Those comments should be taken to the mayor and council.
What is that?
Taken to the mayor and council.
Oh,
Has nothing to do with
Not
the
an
zoning
active,
board.
not an active
Our,
case, no.
our actual jurisdiction is extremely limited to variances that are presented, so,
well, you do have to go by the law, right?
yeah.
But if you have comments, just general comments about properties you may be concerned of, you really should go to the mayor and council and bring those comments. It's not for this board to hear.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? No. Okay, we will close it to the public. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn?
All right. Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That's it. Thank you. See you on July 21st.